Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the experience sharing channel of DIVI Group. We invite you to join DIVI Group in exploring why do we need to treat water for boilers. First, we need to understand the concept of what is a boiler. A boiler is a sealed device containing water, which transforms energy from the fuel combustion process into the energy of water through the heat exchange process within the boiler. Here, the water is heated and transformed into steam. This is the most basic concept for us to preliminarily understand what a boiler is. Next, let's study the indicators present in domestic water that affect the operation of the boiler. In this video, we will only refer to domestic water, often called utility water, as this is the main water source used for boilers in current industrial zones. This table shows the indicators of some components in our domestic water according to current national standards and their impact on the boiler operation process. The first indicator is pH level. A neutral pH ensures that the iron and steel in the boiler are not corroded by water. The TDS indicator represents the total amount of dissolved solids in water. The dirtier the water, the higher this TDS index. The TDS indicator assesses the quality of our water source. For the hardness indicator, which is the agent causing sediment in the boiler, it is largely determined by calcium to plus and magnesium to plus. Now let's consider the evaporation process of water to understand the impact of these components. When water evaporates, the pure water component transforms into steam, which is delivered to the point of use. The components remaining in the boiler are the dissolved solids, denoted as TDS, and the agents causing sediment in the water, including calcium to plus and magnesium to plus. These are the main components that cause sediment on the heat exchange surfaces of the boiler. So, what is the harm of sediment clinging to the heat exchange surfaces? Let's watch a video about the formation of sediment in the steam-generating tubes of the boiler as follows. We notice that a layer of sediment will adhere to the tube wall and prevent the contact of water with the tube wall. When the flame outside the tube is hot, the heat from the flame will transfer to the water through the tube wall. Thanks to the continuous heat absorption by the water, the tube wall temperature is maintained at a certain low temperature. However, because sediment clings to the tube wall, it prevents the contact of water with the tube wall, leading to the tube not being cooled and causing the tube wall temperature to rise nearly to the temperature of the flame. The tube wall, heated to a high temperature, will change the mechanical properties of steel, making the steel soften, change hardness, and simultaneously reduce the steel's load-bearing capacity. Under the effect of pressure in the boiler, the tube wall will be destroyed and leak hot water outside. This is often called a steam tube explosion incident, which is very dangerous for the operator as it can cause severe burns, similar to a steamed bun. Considering another aspect of heat transfer, when sediment adheres to the tube wall, it reduces the heat transferability from the flame or smoke to the water. Therefore, it will decrease the water's heat absorption capacity in the boiler. That is, the steam generating ability will be reduced. To ensure the steam produced meets the requirements in this case, we must burn more fuel to generate more heat so that the water can absorb enough heat. This will increase fuel consumption for the boiler, meaning increased fuel costs. Thus, we have understood to very dangerous harms if the boiler is sedimented, safety loss for the operant, or due to steam tube explosion incidents and increased fuel consumption in the boiler due to reduced heat transferability. Now, let's join DIVI Group to learn more about the possible harms if the pH level does not meet the standard. As we know, a neutral pH level will not cause corrosion of iron and steel in the boiler. If the water is acidic or alkaline, the steel surface in contact with water will corrode. Over time, the thickness of the steel will gradually decrease, thus reducing the steel's pressure-bearing capacity. When the capacity to withstand pressure decreases to near the operating pressure in the boiler, it will lead to the risk of destroying the corroded iron and steel parts under the impact of pressure in the boiler. This incident is also known as a boiler explosion, and we know its consequences. By now, you may understand the seriousness if we do not treat the components causing sediment in the boiler and ensure the water's pH level supplied to the boiler. And according to the standards of the Vietnamese government, The water supplied to the boiler must be treated to ensure specific standards as in the following table. Now let's consider the economic damage aspect if we do not treat sediment in the boiler. According to DIVI Group's research, if sediment adheres a thin layer of 1 mm on the steam-generating tube, fuel consumption will increase from 5% to 20% compared to when there is no sediment layer. To illustrate, let's consider the following example. Suppose we have a 10-ton boiler burning rice husk fuel. Then fuel consumption in 1 hour is about 2,000 kilograms of rice husk in the case there is no sediment phenomenon in the boiler. But when the boiler is sedimented with a layer of 1 mm thick on the steam-generating tube, the fuel consumption in 1 hour for the 10-ton boiler will increase to 2,100 kilograms to 2,400 kilograms of rice husk. So, in this case, the additional fuel consumption in 1 hour will be 100 kilograms to 400 kilograms. If the cost of purchasing rice husk fuel is 800 VND per kilogram, then in 1 hour, the investor will have to spend an additional 80,000 VND to 320,000 VND for this boiler if sedimentation occurs. Thus, the investor will lose about 50 million to 200 million Vietnamese dongs per month in fuel costs, equivalent to 600 million to 2.4 billion VND per year. Meanwhile, the cost of water treatment for the boiler only ranges from 10 million to 20 million VND per month, equivalent to 120 million to 240 million VND per year. We can easily see if we have a suitable solution for treating sediment in the boiler. We can save from 480 million to 2.16 billion VND per year. This is a significant number for our business. Therefore, according to DIVI Group's advice, you must pay attention to treating water for the boiler well to ensure the boiler is not a ticking time bomb and bring a considerable profit margin to our business. Today, we will stop here so that you can understand the importance of water treatment for boilers. We hope this video from DIVI Group will give you a more visual understanding of the importance of treating water for boilers. Thank you.
DIVI Group, striving to bring prosperity to our partners.